Flags in the back for those who haven't been here. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for coming to the Heartland Selectmen's meeting for July 1st, 2024, here at the Community Center, meeting at 5:30. This is the first one of the month, so the minutes will be read by Brother Brooks.
All right. Good evening. Selectmen's meeting minutes for June 17th, 2024, 5:30 p.m. Irving Tanning Community Center. Present with Jerry Martin, John Heichel, and Mark Brooks. Staff, Christopher Littlefield, several citizens. John Heichel read the minutes of the June 3rd, 2024, and that was voted to accept as read. Under unfinished business, the landfill update, Chris stated that we have spent $104,370.29 on odor control. Discussed two more options for odor control. Got it? It's called EcoSword, distributed by Byers Scientific. And the second one was Cozy Shell, an odor shell distributed by LCS Environmental Products. Chris shared an email from Josh Rembush of Byers Scientific regarding a potential site visit in Washington, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. Motion to add Vicky Pomeroy to Downtown Revitalization Plan, voted 3-0 to accept. Mark Brooks shared the charge for the Downtown Revitalization Committee. Under new business, we shared old maps of the town of Heartland that Don McDougal presented. Chris to scan and send to the selectmen. Other, signed quitclaim deed correction. Mark Brooks asked about the process to start the re-evaluation process. Chris to work for the assessor and outline the town's needs. John Heichel wants Chris to call Harmony and inquire about the loud noise that is being made in Harmony on the weekends. Under public forum, agenda items only, Margaret Greenberg asked several questions. We signed warrants. There was a motion to adjourn at 7 p.m., which was voted 3-0 to accept. Respectfully submitted, Chris Littlefield.
Thank you, Mark. Other than the edit from order to odor, is there any other discussion?
No, for me.
This
odor.
That says
that
order.
Oh,
it
that
should
one,
be
okay.
odor
Yes.
control, so there's an edit there. Short of that edit. Yep.
Okay. No, I'll make a motion to
Accept as amended.
accept the minutes as amended.
Seconded.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Under unfinished business, we have revaluation requests for qualification and price.
Yeah, so you all have a format in here, so work with the assessor, and this is the kind of an RFQ request for qualifications and proposal for price. It's for a revaluation and equalization of residential, commercial, industrial properties. The process, the town of Heartland is undertaking a revaluation and equalization of taxable property of approximately 1,723 plus or minus residents and 50 plus or minus commercial or industrial properties. Proposals must be received by, I left that out for the time being, so you could tell me when we'd like to do that. Bidders interested in providing the revaluation equalization services are invited to deliver one set copy of the proposal to Christopher Littlefield, Town Manager, Town of Heartland, 21 Elm Street, P.O. Box 280, Heartland, Maine. The scope, it is the express intent that the revaluation equalization project shall include but is not limited to the just value of each parcel of taxable and tax exempt real estate with separately expressed land and building values as well as the total property values. The scope of the project to include full measure and list plus photos and sketches, update trio with the revaluation equalization values with appropriate cost schedules, The start date being January 2nd, 2025, completion date being July 15th, 2026. Definition of just value, appraisals shall be made based on the definition of just value contained in 36 MRSA 701A. Requirements, each bidder responding to the solicitation must address the following items in their proposal. A letter of transmittal signed by the individual authorized to negotiate for and contractually bind the bidder stating the effective dates of the offer. A detailed description of the process proposed to be undertaken to complete the property revaluation equalization. Upon completion of the total property revaluation equalization, the town of Hatton must be presented with a complete set of property cards, property record cards, including photos and sketches that detail the construction of each building. At the completion of the revaluation equalization, the select bidder will make themselves available to meet with the local tax assessor and taxpayers to review the new valuations for a period of no less than 90 days. All contractors must be experienced working with Trio web software. Proposals will include a list of staff that will serve the town of Hatton during the revaluation or equalization process and a proposed time period for commencement and completion. Insurance, the winning bidder shall carry and maintain in force workers' compensation insurance, general public liability and property damage insurance, including vehicle coverage and professional liability insurance, with limits of $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate. The town should be named as additionally insured on the liability policy. Items supplied by the town. The town will provide the following to the winning bidder to aid in the revaluation project: all available building permit information, all available zoning information, all available ownership information, all available land classification information related to current use classification, all available sales data, land dimensions and total acreages or estimates of the same on all parcels or access to deeds for the same, assistance during the informal reviews to resolve discrepancies due to land size, boundaries, etc. One set of full-size tax maps, one set of reduced-size tax maps, permission to use present property cards, record cards when necessary, such as a refusal of a property owner to allow measurement and inspection of a building. Space for use by the chosen bidder's staff working on the revaluation equalization project. Space for the conduct of the informal hearings. Selection, bidders will be scored using the following criteria: experience, providing residential, commercial, industrial revaluation equalization services in Maine, and by the number of written recommendations from previous work presented with the proposal, 40 points. Ability to perform the scope of work by July 15, 2026, commitment date, unless otherwise negotiated, 20 points. Experience working with Trio web software by number of years, 15 points. Price per card, 25 points. Award, the winning bidder will be selected to enter into contract negotiations for the town of Highland. This says by December 31st, but we can change that if we'd like. On 2024, following the selectmen's affirmative acceptance of the bid, the project will also be subject to taxpayer funding by town meeting. The town reserves the right to reject any and all proposals in the whole or in part.
So I take it this is the format we used before?
I have no idea what they used before.
Okay.
This is one that we generated.
Any discussion, gentlemen, questions?
Well, that's a lot of information.
It is.
It's 2 pages.
So,
What do you guys think about giving us a chance to digest it over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't need any,
right,
we don't
we
need any
asked-
decisions
Yeah,
tonight.
we asked, Chris to come up with the left and right limits of what that would look like. So, good. Well, thanks for doing it. I want to look at it even more.
Okay.
meeting, John asked Chris to call Harmony and inquire about the loud noise. He got some complaints from constituents up on the lake. So Chris called them and they said,
Yeah, I spoke with Larry, who's a selectman up there. Larry said that they have been frustrated with that group of folks for several years now. He said it was 3 or 4 years ago. They put a major push on to try to stop it and shut it down, and they were not successful. And beyond that, they're just as frustrated as everybody else.
What is it? I know it's music. Is it like a wedding venue? What is it? Business?
No, it's not a wedding venue, it's just a.
Address the chair.
Questions,
yeah,
What's that?
just some fire questions in the middle of the.
right.
I'm sorry, Bob. He doesn't want to. Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
Okay, so bottom line is, when we get down, if you wanna ask questions later, we can do that and go over this. This is just getting
My
to.
apologies.
No? All right, so, TDS response.
Yeah, so John had asked me to reach out to them. I reached out to a lady in Massachusetts, called and left a message. Actually, I believe I've called 2 different times, and I've not got a response from her. And it's a lady that I originally talked to when we were talking about the contract, so I'm just gonna try again. I'll just keep
I
trying.
don't know what that issue was.
He wanted to know about if there's any funds that get collected from our citizens to do a TV station, is that correct?
To do a PEG access channel or some sort of public access TV station.
I'll try again this week, and see if I can get through.
All right, now the new business, sign downtown revitalization letter.
I think the issue is, what is it that we want on number 11? The spirit that I had in a quick note was something about working with the person who's selected as the downtown, right, whatever.
Right.
And so, let's agree on that line. I think we wanted to put number 11 was something that would encourage the committee to work with the agent.
Contracting agent is what I came up with because we don't know exactly, we can't plug in a name, because we don't know that.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Yep.
That's a generic term.
Right.
So I would say plug that in until we come up with a more exact title for this.
Selectmen of the town of Heartland.
I did get another informal request this weekend. I told them if they would like to be considered to please send me an email, a text or something, and I'll forward it to you guys, but I haven't received it.
The Selectmen of the town of Heartland ask that the committee work with the contracting agent to develop the written plan.
Is it called contracting agent?
Well, you've got a better title. I mean, it's this person, this entity. We don't know what they call themselves, so we can't address them as an entity that we don't know exists.
You could,
They're a contracting agent is basically what they are.
It's a downtown revitalization planning consultant, or planner
Downtown,
works.
yeah, planner, downtown revitalization,
Work with the
downtown revitalization planner.
revitalization planner. the town of Heartland asks that the committee work with the downtown revitalization planner in order to develop the written downtown revitalization plan to accomplish what? Good. Right, so I'll send this tonight, Christie, and then I guess we can come in at will to read it, to sign it. Or?
Excuse me. I don't think you have to sign it.
Okay.
I don't, that's just a
I'll
document
sign
that
this. I'll
we'll
send
share
this.
with them, so I can email it out to the group.
Perfect.
Yep.
It would be nice for the chair to have that, and also contact information.
We don't have that person yet to give you a particular name.
I'm talking about the committee.
Right.
The committee itself, okay.
You can get that.
I'll get this to you. And everybody, I'll look at it.
Perfect.
Let's, just sign that.
No reason.
I don't know what it is.
It's a selectman of like informal. You have not been selected as a candidate for the committee. Is that okay? No reason. given?
We don't have to.
All right, moving along to other.
Yep, so, again, on the other here, excuse me, on, Great Moose Drive Car Wash here. Last week on June 24th, I received an email along with the code officer regarding a, car wash on Moose Drive. And, there's a lot of conversation back and forth on that, but the, I don't need to get into all that detail. What I did is I talked with the code officer, had the code officer reach out to the property owner, and just share with you the, today it says, "Good morning, Mr. Pike, I appreciate you taking my call last week and want to touch base on a couple of items to make sure we're on the same page. Per our shoreline zoning ordinance, a vehicle detailing business, as you described, home occupation, will need a permit application filled out and a planning board approval to operate. Until such approval is granted, I'm requesting the business operation stop and we work on getting things ready for the next available planning board meeting. I appreciate your consideration on this, and this does not impact you washing or detailing your own personal vehicles. I will be in the office tomorrow and can get you the required paperwork to get this moving. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions. Josh Berry, Heartland Code Enforcement Officer." That was, he sent that this morning at 9. He did talk to Mr. Berry, talked to Mr. Pike last week. And this afternoon I received another email I'll share with you. If I can pull it up. There was one more, it said, thank you, and just to confirm, you can hold off on any more detailing until we get this in the planning board. It would be very helpful if you could take the signs down until then too. And at 1:32 this afternoon, Mr. Pike responded, yes, I will stop and I will remove the signs, and that was sent from his iPhone.
Any discussion on that?
No.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I just have a question about the letter. Does this mean that you can, I guess I'm asking for just an informational question. Does this mean that you can wash your own vehicles in the shoreline zone? You can. And within 75 feet or not 75 feet?
I don't think you would be able to go within 75 feet.
And obviously,
I thought I'm just checking to make sure that's accurate. Because we don't want detergent soaps going right in the water,
I
even
would
if it's your own car.
correct.
So I'm not sure.
I'm sure as part of this evaluation, we can also approach them to say they're using biodegradable or friendly detergents.
But
Obviously,
he
you don't
didn't
want
say
phosphate.
that, he says,
Right, we've stopped him completely, so
he says, I
regardless.
appreciate your consideration on this, and this does not impact you washing or detailing your own personal vehicles.
Correct.
So we didn't specify that it's gotta be a,
Right, as far as the business goes, we have jurisdiction as far as him doing it in his front yard. I'm not sure that we have the ability to stop him.
and it's not in the shoreline zoning, saying that you can't. Okay,
Not that I'm aware of.
okay.
But once we get all the details,
Okay.
and let's just say that he is the guinea pig for our zoning ordinance again, and we find out that, and we unleash the whole biodegradable and all this other stuff on everybody on the land, because if that's what we find out, then that would be part of the issues that you're describing, correct?
Yeah, so this soap, obviously. can-
Right. I don't know how many people do wash their cars in the yards around the lake. I'm sure there's more than this guy. So, again,
Okay, well, just
we
making sure that,
will, as part of this, we will learn some things, I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all gonna learn as we go in. So if he didn't have a car washing business, if he had a vacuuming and, I guess, the inside.
Correct. If it was just detailing, no washing, we wouldn't be having this
So
conversation.
it's a home business like so many people who work around the Great Moose have a home business. We don't regulate them or do it.
so you do with car washing. I think
No,
it's-
I understood the car washing, I guess. Wasn't trying to disagree with the car washing. But if there's an environmental nexus, if someone is working as a real estate agent,
No, you can do that, no,
Okay.
in the shoreline zone.
so, but the car washing business is really the issue for him,
Yes.
not the.
So he did tell the code officer that he has not washed any cars that were not his own at that location, but he has detailed 3 cars since he started. So, and he did that in a building across the road, so. That's what he told the code officer.
Sure.
Any others? Gentlemen, I have one who, if you guys don't have anything?
Are we gonna do this one?
I had that on there too. This is just a.
Oh, the budget, yeah, sorry.
Expense report, this is just the final for the end of June 30. And, I'm gonna start doing these monthly, and I'd like to have your initial one, so I can take it back and put it on file, just so we have it on file. So, if you wanna just initial this one, that you've seen it,
Okay?
you wanna go over it if you want.
I just want you to address the red
Yeah.
for me, if you would. Landfill admin, unexpended balance.
Just 3 signatures there to say that we've seen this prior to.
So you're talking on the landfill? Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the landfill, all of the numbers, many of the numbers through the landfill are, over, because we actually, instead of taking in approximately 25,000 cubic yards of material, we took in more than that.
Yep.
So we exceeded the budget on many items, on that whole thing, due to the fact that we operated, we took in more than we anticipated.
That's what I thought. So
And increased the cost, so.
does the Trio recording system, if you have an overage, actually put a negative next to it? See what I mean, like the 258, 175, 57, down there under account 50?
Yep, that would be for the whole budget, that 258 on that one, I believe is for the whole budget. So it's going through each line item. You see what I'm saying? If you had the whole budget, this is not the report that I.
Hang on a second, the one we signed is right there, can we hand that back?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same, it doesn't mean it's the same criminal. So if you had all line items marked,
Yeah.
it's gonna say that we overexpended the entire landfill budget, $258,175. That's what it's gonna say.
Right. So it's not that we, let's see, it's unexpended, which would mean, I would think, so I'm looking for an education if you need to give me one. Unexpended balance would seem that it's money that is still there. This is money
That's been spent.
that has been spent. Right?
Yes,
So
it's
it's-
red, it's in the negative, so it's been spent.
And that's to June,
That's to June 30, yep.
and
We overexpended the budget 17%. You
gotcha.
see that 117.63?
Okay, I see. So I was wondering what that number is. So it's just, if you push the decimal points over what? Is it 11%? Or is that, yeah, percent's been 11, or is it 117?
It would be 17, we overexpended 17.63%, because we're over the 100% mark.
But revenues
Exceeded.
exceeded
Oh, yes.
expenses. I think that's just the thing
It's
I didn't
just
want.
showing what was budgeted.
Right. And we know 104 of that is for odor control.
104 is odor control, and remember, we paid $215,000 out of the budget for an excavator.
Good. And just the same thing on the other side, was it abatements, Chris? It's just that we'd year to date was 4,093.
Yes.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Yeah. I'm good.
You good?
I do it.
Okay. John says he has another?
I do have another. That letter that we signed, I assume that's signed downtown revitalization letter.
That is the item on the agenda that addressed what we did, yes.
Okay. I would have, I didn't know that it was a denial letter. I thought it would have been a letter signing, I thought this letter would have been to the people who were accepting, not to a denial.
We did that last time. We signed individual letters to each individual person last time,
I get that.
okay?
And last time we had a discussion about sending them to the people we denied as well.
Yes, and that's what that one was generated to address.
Came from the public, I think.
Yes.
Mark has addressed that.
Well, I'm not 100% on board with the reason that we denied that. And I'll tell you that my oath of office to this board was to support the constitutions of probably the state and the US Constitution. And I believe that that letter ever feel that we are guilty before we are proven guilty. And I don't want to take anybody's rights away from them. And it's clear in the 14th Amendment, it's also in the US Constitution, it's also clear in Article 6A of the Maine Constitution that it feels like, as I read these two, it feels like I may have violated my oath of office by agreeing to the terms that we denied that particular applicant. So if I could, I would like to rescind my signature from that letter. The two of you are, if you are in agreement of sending it, you are certainly welcome to, because that's a majority of us. But I don't think that I should sign that letter.
So just as a point of reference or record, the night we brought it up for discussion, it was a 3-0.
We didn't vote on that. We discussed it.
Yeah, I don't recall if we voted.
I know we didn't vote on it.
Well, we agreed on it. Let's take it down a notch and say that we agreed that at that time, with the information at hand, that was a prudent way to move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
But
And now
that's not a signature on paper. That's discussion.
Okay.
And I actually didn't agree with it when I left here. I wasn't in agreement with it, but I accepted the majority's decision.
I don't remember you dissenting, so you may have, but I don't remember anything here where you were dissenting. It's okay to dissent now, you can change your mind.
I'm dissenting now.
Okay,
And
sure.
I would like to remove my signature from that letter. Because I believe that letter, I believe that the reason that we did that is a violation of 6A of the Maine Constitution and 14 of the US Constitution. And I took an oath to uphold both of those, as well as the state laws of the state of Maine. So I would.
There's no constitutional obligation to send this letter.
I would ask.
We don't have to send a letter
Right.
Well then.
at all. It was brought up
then
to address a situation, and that's what we did. So,
that could be, that, exactly. Well, we could send a letter, but I wouldn't want to put my signature on it.
Don't send it. There's a request from a citizen in town.
Right.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to deny anybody else their constitutional rights either, just so everybody knows why I'm doing this. It isn't.
I'm not sure naming someone on a committee to help the selectmen is a violation of a constitutional part anywhere, however.
I think the reason that we denied it, or the reason that you mentioned to deny it, is possibly that, and I don't want to agree to that. I did not agree to the reason.
You have every right to disagree, that's fine.
So,
well, again, with the information we had, but as you can see by the personnel setting in, things have changed, I guess. So that may not necessarily be what we had been led to believe. Would that be fair?
I think I know what you say, but I'm not sure what you mean. Since John has pushed out violation of constitutional rights,
Well,
I disagree with him, and it's fine.
I read the letter while I was told that there were no more letters available, no more letters with requests to be on that committee, and I read the letter, and I would have been in support of it, purely because
We had the letter here that night, Joe.
and I read it, but I was told that there were no more letters before I read it, and then I saw it and I read it, and I found that there was another letter that was in there.
I'm
But
not sure.
denying for that reason, denying for the reason that we did, I would not want to put my letter on that, put my signature on that letter.
Okay, we don't have to, there was no legal reason for us to send the letter at all. Still is not.
Then could we destroy that letter?
Well, it's made out of paper sitting right there.
Can I make a motion that we
In fact,
display and
I will allow you to do the honors. That work?
Well, let's vote on it, because we
Yeah,
don't want to
let-
offend any constitutional rights.
You're not violating constitutional rights.
So make a motion to vote on it.
I appreciate it. I
It's
appreciate
fun
it.
humor.
It's funny
Okay.
humor, I hope.
So
you
we
know.
didn't motion to get
Yeah.
here, how can we unmotion it? Okay,
Well,
We
Just
didn't
withdraw.
motion.
he actually just said he would make a motion to.
Well, if we have to
destroy
vote, I'd make a motion to
If,
destroy this.
So I-
if you don't have
I
a
did-
second, it dies.
I just think you might as well do it and go through it. So, did you make a motion? I thought I heard.
I made a motion to destroy this letter, because I don't want to, or I will remove my signature.
okay, so I have a motion, I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Rip it up, John. There we go. Moving right along. Is that your only other?
That's my only other.
Oh, good.
You're good?
I'm good.
I have another.
Okay.
I'd like to bring up to the board. We're working diligently. Chris has got the crew doing it. We're making great headway with our transfer station, getting the wiring caught up. We've got some wires run. We're gonna have it fired up here shortly. It has been brought to my attention, and Mr. Legre he can probably jump in here to support this. Would it not be good for us to either send out a letter or hand one out with every sticker to say, this is your dump sticker, make it accessible to the person that checks you in at the dump, on the driver's side, visually acceptable, so the guy coming out of the shed doesn't have to run across in front of your vehicle to see it, and has proof that you have this sticker.
I think it's on the ordinance or the rules that we have now.
You think so?
I think so.
Well,
I'll
then
check
maybe-
it. I'll check
Then
it.
if we do have that, then maybe we ought to hand out one, or put it on the website, attention anybody coming to get your dump sticker.
Yep.
Because having people walking back and forth in front of vehicles could be hazardous to the people. So how about we just have it accessible, so Terry and Hart and Bruce or anybody can just walk out, stay at a safe distance and see the sticker right there, not have to hunt for it, or go around the vehicle to read it.
They'll be looking out of the window most of the time.
Well, or just look out of the window, never have to leave the office. We'll check that out and,
Bottom left windshield.
Yeah.
And there was another point also about copying
oh, yes,
the
yes,
sticker.
thank you,
and
thank you.
Having
Um,
duplicates on board.
I know multiple people have multiple vehicles, me being one of them. How do we address that? We give out one sticker,
We give out one sticker for free, the second one is $10, or the third, we charge $10 a piece after that.
okay. So we do address it by having multiple,
Right, there are several people who do get more than one.
okay. And let's verify that on that same deal as far as who gets the sticker, where it goes, all that other
The-
happy
The
stuff.
suggestion came up also that, if I could, the
No,
suggestion
no.
came up, the reason I brought that, or Jerry and I are talking about this, is the suggestion came up that maybe they could make a copy of one and put it on the other of their cars, rather than having to buy multiple stickers after the first one. So it's, I mean, is it, how much would it matter if because I've gone in there with no sticker, because it's on the other car, and I say 1288 or whatever the number is, and you get in.
The only downside to that, and I thought about that after you left, is I can copy Mark's and put it on mine. Or I can copy yours and put it on mine. I
Yeah, but that
understand.
might be, we don't have
But at the end-
any laws here, but that may be, that's wrong.
Just give
It happens, John, it happens.
Oh, I know but it's wrong.
We have people give their stickers to other people
know.
in other towns.
I'm sure we do, and
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Lot
Yeah, and that's wrong, but I don't think it's wrong if you use the same sticker for both of your vehicles. I just don't think that's wrong, but
Okay.
figure something out.
Well, we're gonna look and see what we've got on paper, maybe we can make some adjustments to the language. just to make sure it does, I know it frustrates the boys up there that people come in and they don't have a sticker, they know they don't live in Heartland, and we're asking them to be trash cops. And I'd like to have it solidified so we have a little more teeth in it, for whatever that's worth.
Not to mention, if you come in with 2 different vehicles, and I come in the same day with 2 vehicles, their count is 2 different numbers came in when in fact the same household did.
All right, so I just thought it'd be a good time when we transfer over to the new building to tidy up the rooms up there a little bit.
And I really want to thank you, Jerry, for the work you're doing up there.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know
problem.
if we've said that before, but I saw, you are really doing a great job. You're working hard to get this done, and we really appreciate your
Thank you, John.
effort. And I
Yes,
believe
thank you, Jerry.
volunteer, so thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome. All right, so, any others? Okay, we're moving to public forum, and that guy right there, he already got started, so we're gonna jump right to him.
So I guess I actually have 2 questions, if that's all right. My name's Tom Kiesbert, I live at 50 Main Street, Heartland. My dump sticker is 1518.
Write that down.
I'll write that down.
My first question, I guess, would be for Chris. Chris, did they happen to say what? I mean, is it like a community that's doing like small bands or something? What is the business over Harmony or anything, or is it just somebody's house?
I have no idea.
It's Freedom Park,
Yeah, it's called Freedom Park. That's
and it's
all
a
I know,
big
but I don't
place
know what
where
the-
the cannabis festivals are and the other places
Gotcha.
that have all of those.
So basically somebody's throwing little concerts?
No, they're throwing big
and
concerts starting at 10:38 p.m. and
Yeah.
they're throwing big concerts that start at 10:30 p.m. and end around 5 o'clock, 5:30 a.m. And you can hear it throughout the lake, I guess, and it's keeping
Because
people
Harmony
away.
evidently don't have a noise ordinance.
They do, but the sheriff's department will not enforce it. because
Ordinances.
They don't have their own local department.
They don't enforce town ordinances.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Right. And the state won't either, I guess.
Well,
Well, you guys know, you ripped it up down on Main Street there.
So-
Nobody-
I stopped at 10. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Oh, come on, that was fun.
Yeah, but his was good.
We didn't hear it at our house.
No, that was a good band. You have
We're
to-
pretty close.
That was a good
Thank
band, John.
My next question is I guess for John, on his other. Why did we deny people? What are we talking about? I guess I would like to have some elaboration on that, since now it's brought up. to the forum.
I would rather not elaborate on it because the 2 gentlemen are here. And if they want to let us discuss it, we can discuss it. But I don't think it's appropriate.
But it was brought up, so now it's public forum, so it should be.
Didn't say who it was.
Excuse me?
Did not say who it was.
Oh, I don't care who it was.
Okay, then I guess.
I'm not asking who it was. I didn't ask for any
Okay,
names.
then it doesn't matter, does
I
it?
just asked for the reason why they were denied. So that
Asking John,
I know what's going
actually.
on.
He was asking John that.
Oh, well,
You have to address the chair, and the chair can
Oh,
authorize.
I'm sorry, I did say, I guess my next question was
Okay.
for John. I don't care who answers, I don't know who I need to talk to, I'm just talking to.
all right, well, you know my opinion, I'll then hand it to John and you can,
Well, if you want, well,
I wouldn't go there.
huh?
I wouldn't go there.
I wouldn't do it.
I can, Tom, let me think about this, please, and I will give you a better answer.
As long as, and I will accept that as long
I
as,
will always-
as long as we can talk about it.
It will be on the next
I will
agenda
always
if you wanna
be-
bring it back.
I will always be straight with you.
That's all I
I
ask.
just need
I
time
don't-
right now.
No, you're fine, I don't mind that at all,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Karen?
Karen Toll, Old Duffy Lane. A suggestion on the stickers, when you issue a dump sticker, you could ask, just so there's some semblance of accountability, that what household vehicles would be using this number, so that, you know, you could backtrack. It's just a suggestion. And then on the car wash issue, I have a comment and 3 questions for Mr. Littlefield, if I could. The comment is, I understood that Mr. Pike agreed to remove the sign. We drove by it on our way to the meeting today, and all he's done is taped over the word wash on it. So, I mean, does that,
I had the same conversation with Chris, because I drove by it today, and Chris informed me that the guy doesn't get out of work late enough, so they may be gone by the time you drive back by.
okay, all right.
Okay?
And my three questions are, Mr. Littlefield, have you read the shoreline zone ordinance?
Yes,
Do you drive by the car wash on a frequent basis?
I do.
Why did an outside party have to bring it to our attention, the town's attention, that it appears to violate the shoreline zone?
Well, first, I'm not the code officer. Okay?
Does
I'm
the
not the
code officer report to you?
Yes, yes, but I don't chase every sign and, you know, I just don't do it. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
Drive by it, chase it, drive by it. Yeah.
So,
You're chasing it.
Jim, what were you working on this weekend with your wood that you had out in the yard?
What was I working on?
I don't know, were you?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. So, did I come and stop and ask you what you're doing, see if you had a comment?
Chris, you drive by it. It's not chasing, you drive by, read it.
I do
And
drive
I'm
by,
not-
but,
I don't want to get an issue about it.
yeah, so, again, we have a group of people who are trying to publicly discredit us, and they're trying to do it anonymously, but you guys know a lot more about these. The only people I've told that Mr. Pike agreed to take that down are these three guys tonight, and you guys here.
You
Tonight's
just
the first
told
time.
us.
I know that, I know that. But you didn't know, that's when you found out about that?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. But, so for me, I don't chase every single thing. I don't have time to chase every single thing. I do drive by it. I look at a car wash as a building that somebody drives into and washes a vehicle. I have not seen anybody wash a vehicle except Mr. Pike washed his truck. I've seen a red truck that he washes. That's his truck. That's his personal truck. I have not seen any other vehicles there. I have not seen him detail a car. So I don't know what he's got going on there. So I still don't know for sure. He said he would stop. We've done what needed to be done. We investigated it. We're stopping it.
I have a Mandy's sign outside my home. Doesn't mean it's a restaurant.
Okay, so we're gonna, I know clearly with the way you're shaking your head, that's not an acceptable answer. Would you like to go to a different question?
No?
No?
It may not be acceptable, but if that's his answer, that's his answer. I've just given the focus on shoreline zoning in this town.
Well, I can only speak for myself. Now, I've driven up to the dump a few times and I saw the car wash sign out there beside the road. Never clicked. It never clicked. And I've been down to Baker's Place a couple times doing some work. Drove by, never saw anything going on, saw the sign. But for myself personally, it never clicked that this guy is, if that's a business, it isn't much of one. Okay, and I understand that's the, gets in everybody's craw that there's a commercial business. But again, we stopped it, we're gonna reevaluate it, he's gonna go through the motions, and he may not be able to reinitiate his business there. Okay? That's, again, that's me, I can't speak for the rest of the board, and I won't correct. Never clicked that was even, you know, if somebody's putting up a 40 by 40 building and something like that, well, hey, whoa, what are we doing? Hang on, we're not done with Karen yet, but. Karen.
Or I'm not done with you. I take issue with Mr. Littlefield's abdicating responsibility for having the code enforcement officer do his or her job. It is his responsibility to enforce the regulations of the town, whether that's the people that report to him or himself. And
that is correct. And I'm pretty sure the code enforcement officer had seen that sign prior to us bringing this up. But did it click to him either? No?
A code officer, that's not really true. A code officer is brand new. He's only worked here as a code officer for probably 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Hasn't been here very long, so.
But I guess my point was, okay, let me read.
Yep.
Take my point over again. He may or may not have seen that sign, and it may or may not have clicked to him, because he had to hit the ground running when he got here. He was already overloaded. Day one, he's behind because he starts out behind. That may be an acceptable answer to you, or may not be. But as of right now, we're behind in staff. The people that are new, so we're working on it. We'd love to be proactive and get everything right out of the box. That would be great, but we're still short-staffed.
The sign has been up for, does anybody remember, 3 months?
And he's detailed 3 cars.
Okay.
Well, that's what he says.
Okay, well,
Well, yeah.
All right.
it's-
okay, hey,
We have to take, somebody
hang on,
has to tell the truth once in a
hang
while.
on. The letter you got from this environmental, hang on, guys. You wanna listen to me, or we'll just move on and we'll get out of here? It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. However, so sign's been there 3 months, and that's the first one. So, 3 months, 90 days ago, where was this outfit 90 days ago? Why didn't the flag go up day one when the sign came up?
We're meeting since then.
Okay? So, I'm just saying, it's been 3 months since he's been there. First we've heard of it. I don't go that way a lot. So, can we agree that we have work to do? We do.
We can agree on that.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that the last of your questions?
Yes, it is.
And we're gonna go right down here to Margaret.
Margaret Greenberg, 1034 Old Ferry Road. So this business, it exists within the shoreline zone. And I could save you a lot of time and just say, the following new commercial and industrial uses are prohibited within the shoreline zoning. This is part of the ordinance, page 19. The very first item that should not be in a shoreline zone, number 1 item, is auto washing facilities. And that's a PDF that's on your website from June 5th, 2023. So that's what's, I guess, surprising to Karen, is that our town manager drives by this, maybe it didn't click. The town is already in a lawsuit, being sued around a violation of shoreline zoning. Wouldn't it kind of click that, oh, there's another business operating in a residential shoreline zone? Like,
Can I play devil's advocate?
yeah,
Chris knows that, and he was looking for a facility. There isn't one. Devil's advocate, I'm just playing games with what you're saying.
I'm not playing games, I'm just
I
reporting
know.
the facts.
I appreciate what you're
Well,
saying, but there is no facility.
There's no.
He's doing it in his driveway. I'm not saying that's his out. We shut him down. We're gonna evaluate. We're gonna go through all the stuff. He may not be able to reopen, but he does not technically have a facility. It doesn't exist. Okay? Just using what you're, and I appreciate what you're saying. We knew that. We looked it up, and you are correct. Car wash facility. Again, Jim has owned a car wash facility in the past. It wasn't out in the middle of the street. It was a facility. You bring it in, you got hoses, guns, and brushes, oh my, all that stuff. There's a facility. Now we can get behind, yeah, we don't want a car wash. Draining into the lake. We don't want a person using, especially phosphorus materials to clean a car. They work great, but they pollute the lake. So we don't want that either. So we've got them shut down. We're going to evaluate.
Thank you.
Okay? Is that it for you, Margaret? Or?
I'm not sure.
You're always good for a couple. Come on now.
Yeah, I do my homework,
I know.
yeah.
I'd be disappointed if there's only one. That was a Karen follow-up. Come on.
Yeah, okay, no, I did have one. Yes, I did have one here. So the letters that you've decided to destroy then,
Mm-hmm.
the person or persons then, citizens of Heartland, are they gonna get a verbal? Or how are they gonna know that they have not been accepted?
They do not get an invite.
They don't get an invite,
Right.
okay.
And you can look at me right now and think that person has no idea.
No, I know who that person is,
Okay.
okay.
So, We're all good.
So the point is, this person has 30-plus years of business experience.
That is correct.
This person is educated, this
Yep.
person cares about the town.
Appreciate all
Writes
of
a
that.
letter back on March 31st expressing interest, and
Absolutely.
you wanna deny a person like that? So I'd like to know, what was your rubric, what was your criteria for selecting members of this committee?
You want that in public forum?
I'd like to know what that is.
Okay, we had an incident right out here, the person in question.
Yeah.
The person's in question, there was an altercation. At
Correct.
that time, we didn't know, not know what the severity of it was,
Yeah.
or the charges applied. Given the fact that the two people sitting here in this room, didn't go to the level that we thought it may have.
Okay,
Okay? And you really can't bring somebody onto a board that has recently had that kind of activity in their history.
really?
Do you think that's a great idea?
I think it's up to due process.
Okay, we didn't have a trial about it.
Right.
Those are the facts.
Right,
Those are the facts that we know of, right? So the other people we sent acceptance letters to didn't, to our best of our knowledge, have a recent incident like that, okay?
so that's the reason.
That is the reason, of course.
Thank you.
So, Margaret,
Oh, good.
you're all good.
As an ad hoc committee of the board, I think the board has a right to decide what the criteria to be on that committee would be.
Of course.
Of
And
course.
so I don't think that we need necessarily justification of that. It's whatever the selectmen decide.
That is great. And would you say if that certain person reapplied, what do you think?
It's not up to me. If the selectmen decide that they want that person on the board, then we will take that person on the board and treat them just exactly like anybody else that's on that.
Oh, there's a reapplication thing going on here, or I thought this was closed?
No, just hang on. Any comments from the board?
What's the question?
What's the question? Are we going to revisit that particular application, given what we know and what we've done so far?
Has there been adjudication between the two parties?
I'm not sure there is. Margaret, would you have any knowledge of adjudication between the two parties?
No, I don't.
You do not.
Not that I can say publicly.
Well, there you are. Now you're back to where we are. Same problem. Same problem. We're stuck.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I guess I wanna go on record, I'll say again, if you wonder why it's really hard to get people to volunteer in this town, it's because people don't know what the criteria is. We tried to blackball, Mark Brooks tried to blackball last meeting, Vicky Pomeroy, by going back to some grudge he had with her when they were running for the select board.
Yeah, it's a fundamental
So-
disagreement that.
Correct,
that
and you were gonna
you-
hold that against her,
that-
so now are you gonna hold this against this
that
other
you-
person?
That people like you make these comments that aren't true, and then you think that, oh,
He's
it's,
got a chance to rebut.
the campaign is all over, we should all just forgive each other. And I don't think this is Washington DC, it's Heartland. We shouldn't be
But you
make
okay-
up things, we shouldn't make up things about candidates, whether it's John, Jerry, myself, or you.
But then you hold that against the person and blackball them for the rest of their,
Did I blackball them?
you
I
tried
made the
to?
motion. No,
Thank God,
I-
yes, you made the motion after John said, I don't agree with that,
Okay, give you credit, sorry about that, John.
yes.
Yeah, the issue is that I can feel whatever way I want to. If you are wrong, if your name is wrong, do you care about that?
You're a public servant,
So, if it's not true, it's not true. It's either fact or fiction.
but why would you let that be a reason for not accepting?
Frankly, if I'm on a committee,
You're not on
sorry.
the committee.
We are the.
wow, you're disrespectful too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the issue is,
Okay.
if I'm interested as a select board,
I'm only
to
gonna
actually
entertain this a little bit more. Sorry, I don't wanna step on your toes,
to
but this is
actually-
gonna wind down.
decide who is gonna be on a committee, I can actually use whatever I want, whatever he wants. He's got different variations than I do. Jerry can have a certain person he's looking on a board. It's I think you used the word ad hoc committee, and I think at the end of the day, I can bring up anything that I want to. And frankly, when someone says that the select board has actually mismanaged money, perhaps taken money erroneously, I frankly find that's a bridge to my own integrity, and I don't like it.
Okay, so we're gonna move from that topic, but it is the board's duty to evaluate individuals. If we are aware of anything that may be a judgment call on an individual's part, then we will call it out, whatever that looks like, right, wrong, or different. So, we're gonna move on. You good, Margaret?
Yep.
Perfect. We have Mr. Kiesberg back.
I think Josh actually had his hand up before I did.
Oh, he didn't?
I don't wanna interrupt anything.
Well,
Well, I was just gonna say the car wash. 3 months ago, I think I tried to get him to detail vehicles and he works at Sappi and he was out 6-7 months before he could do anything, so I'm sure that he hasn't washed it or done any detailing.
I do believe the 3 vehicle thing, because I drive like 6, 7, 8 times a day and 7 days a week. The guy definitely may have done 3, honestly.
okay,
I know you said we're moving on, but I just got a statement from Mark, I guess. Can I,
Sure.
you kinda hit on it just a little bit.
Sure.
Evidently your beef, I'm gonna use the word beef, I apologize if it's the wrong word, with Vicky is because she accused you of stealing money?
She accused the board
She
of
accused the
mismanaging
board.
money.
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, was there ever an investigation done to prove?
She has the right to say whatever she wants.
No, I understand that, no, was there an investigation done on the board to prove whether or not there was any money missing?
Mismanaging is not missing. She was saying mismanaging money, I think she
Oh, he
said.
said,
Yeah, that's not how I took it.
alright, that's not what you just said either. So my question is, was there ever an investigation done to prove, on the board, to prove that there was no money missing or whatever?
we investigate, right now we're doing it monthly. The
You
report.
do, but was there an investigation done on the board, not by the board, on the board? That's my question.
Okay. It is our charge to oversee Chris as when,
Understood?
okay?
Yeah.
So when he does the books, we oversee them.
Right.
So we don't sign the checks, we oversee the person who does sign the checks. So that would be kind of sticky to have things mismanaged. If 3 individuals, such as ourselves, would be totally hoodwinked and let the town mismanage funds, okay? So technically, did we write on a piece of paper, this is our investigation, and go down the thing? No, we investigate all the time. We're watching Chris handle the money all the time.
His question was, who's watching you? And the answer to that is the auditor. The auditor, the auditor is the one who checks all of us. That's what their job is. And they do it annually, and they're working on audits right at the moment. So,
And they are certified and report to the state, so if there's any shenanigans, the flag goes up and then.
Thank you, Chris, for answering that question, I do
Okay.
appreciate that.
I didn't realize.
You kind of, and I just want to make it known, you kind of sidestepped, I mean, it's a simple question, I'm not trying to accuse anybody, I'm not, nothing, I just simply asked if there was an investigation done, and you said that you 3 watched Chris, and so, basically you're saying, so it can't happen and this and that, but with saying that, it happens in towns every day.
Sure.
Okay, so
Anything
that's
can
why I
happen.
asked,
Yeah.
so that's why I asked,
Well, we have-
that's why I asked if there was an investigation done. If
Anything,
somebody's accusing you guys of stealing money, there should be an investigation done. It's been done in this town.
anything can happen, but I don't believe anything inappropriate has been gone on this board.
So as far
I
as an
really don't
official
believe it.
investigation, that's not been.
But I also know that during campaigns and during heated conversations,
Well, exactly.
sometimes candidates do say things that are exaggerated and not accurate, but exaggerated.
And I'm not saying any of it's true.
And
I'm simply asking if,
Good.
you know.
So we
Right.
don't do it, we did not do a technical investigation.
no, I don't think there's any,
We do audits.
no, this
Same
board is
thing, different
serious
thing.
about
Perfect.
your money.
All right,
I think Chris added
moving on,
something
anybody
already.
else? What's that?
We've known each other a long time, we may even disagree time to time, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you know me well enough, I know you well enough, that you know I didn't take any money, never have, never will from the town. That's not a $1,500 fee for being a selectman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all I said is the audit is what checks the whole group, that's what happens.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
I have a couple questions. Did you wanna go, cause you were, the first one was, my husband called a couple weeks ago and spoke to a Kim, is it Novak? About, doing some renovations on our place. And just wanna make sure that we had all of our permits in place. And we were told we don't need any permits for anything on the inside. Like, we got a permit when we redid the roof outside, we paid the money and did permit, but to do anything inside, she told him, we don't need a permit. So should I now talk to the new code enforcer?
Because he's gonna want, if you're changing the plumbing significantly,
No, we're not doing, we're just like ripping up rugs, painting,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
No, furniture, you don't need,
cabinets, things like
No.
that.
no, structural, electrical, well, they don't even,
We don't do
they
electric.
don't do electrical.
And when we
So-
do our deck, we will be doing a smaller deck than what we have, but I just, so
But it
yours,
still needs to have a
so
pair of eyes on it.
who is the person that is now the code enforcer?
Josh Berry,
D-A-I-L-E-Y?
no, B-E-R-R-Y, Berry.
Oh, Barry, I think so Daily. Barry, okay. Okay, that was just one, and then I just have two statements. One, I look at the town selectmen as to be the ears of the people of the town, to help them with anything that might be bothering them. I think I brought up a couple of times, rentals. And I know you didn't want to touch it, and you really didn't want to hear anything I had to say. I do reiterate that I think it would be really proactive to maybe look at possibly some other towns that have started to write ordinances on rentals, on areas that would be, people might want to go to. We are currently right next to a rental. The things we have seen in a short time has been quite frankly scary. We thought one group of renters was gonna, I told you this, burn down the house. Just a couple weeks ago, you had grown men drunk during the day throwing rocks out at balloons. I mean,
And you called the sheriff's
I
department?
did not call the sheriff because I feel like the sheriff is really busy and what is he like, really, like, what is he gonna do?
Assaulting balloons would be game warden?
My bigger point is though, the people who want to have rentals, I don't have any problem with people renting things out, but they probably should be in the vicinity to take care of their rentals. This person came in, bought the place, they're from, I think, Rhode Island, and I'm just saying, it's going to become a much bigger issue as more and more places are getting sold, and I'm probably gonna put mine on the market and sell it. So, you know, and for the price that we'll get for ours on a double lot, it's probably not gonna be a local person buying it. And I'm just saying, you might want to think about, for the future, some ordinances to, I mean, I think Kennebunkport just put a bunch in rentals, a bunch of different places have.
But for the immediate future, if those type of things
I'm not
happen,
calling the sheriff. I'm not doing that, and I'm not calling the game warden. I like to walk up and down the road every day and not feel like I'm gonna have a bullet in the back of my head. So, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
okay,
What did he say?
all right.
He said that's down on Crosby Street. Which is
No.
Okay,
pretty much right.
I'm just saying that's your first recourse. If you feel somebody's in danger, even if it's a loon,
And the last issue I have is the car wash. I do walk every day, I do see a lot when I walk. One day I watched somebody put in, when I was kayaking, a whole beach down by the water. I chose to say nothing many years ago. The man has been washing cars. I've seen the cars be washed when I've been walking. So to say there have been no car washes, I have seen cars there. Like, I mean, and I don't, and again, I have said nothing about the car wash. This is the first conversation I've heard about the car wash. I just want to go on my walk, like, every day. But you,
So you can understand this is new to us, right? This whole scenario with the car wash thing, this is all brand new to us too. Had you have known a month or so ago?
oh no, I've been seeing this for
I know that, but
several
you
months.
did,
Like going
Right.
like that.
but your own words say, this is the first you've heard of it. Well, we're new to this particular set
Oh,
of
this is the first I
circumstances.
know that people have, like, that you're dealing with it.
Yes, thank you. So, you're on the same page with us. Ish.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have called because I would have thought you wouldn't do anything anyway.
Okay.
Why would you call?
All right. Anybody else? Josh?
Are you gonna put an ordinance in so nobody washes the cobwebs and stuff off the house too? Cause they're obviously probably using chemicals and everybody does it all the way around the lake. I mean, that's a given.
Well, again, we're trying not to be a nanny state if we can help,
Yeah.
for sure. Anybody else? Oh, George?
Well, then they couldn't seal coat their driveway for runoff. They couldn't stain the house or the deck if it was within that 75 feet. So everybody up there is gonna go vinyl?
Well, it is
Everything
fine.
has
What
runoff.
else?
Everything has a runoff.
Okay.
I know.
I agree.
I have one more question. or
That's
comment.
it.
I can't say one.
I said that's it. One more. No, you got one more.
And this is just in general, like, I firmly believe in citizen involvement within a community. And I think that, again, I don't know anything about any of this. I think anybody who's saying, I'll work and help out on a committee, you would want to have them help and work out on that committee. And I thought about sending a letter asking, and I thought, yeah, I've been a little vocal. They probably wouldn't let me be on it, so I'm not gonna do that. And my guess is, like someone said, rubric, like, that's like, man, you have to have a rubric so that you can score how you're, like, for example, a hot topic in schools, NHS. If any of you have kids, okay? Everybody wants a kid in NHS, right? The kids don't get in, they get mad, they complain. Okay, you have to have a rubric, okay? This is how many activities you did, you get a .4. This is, you have to have a rubric.
I appreciate you trying to
You have to.
educate us. Thank you.
You have to.
Right. Anybody else? Seeing nothing? Going, gone. Thank you, folks. We're gonna sign some warrants.
That's not